Welcome to The Big Idea. I'm your host, Faith Lark. Today, on The Big Idea, imagine discovering that even in the face of profound loss, a stroke of grace can unlock a deeper understanding of life, death, and your own potential. Could embracing vulnerability be the key to transforming your suffering into service? Today, we uncover how Richard Alpert became Ram Dass, and the shocking twist that taught him and can teach you to find peace where you least expect it. Close your eyes. Imagine a weathered hand trembling slightly, clutching a string of mala beads, the soft rustle of palm leaves, waves lapping against a distant shore. This is the story of Ram Dass, but more importantly, this is a story about you. Richard Alpert was the embodiment of success. Born into a wealthy Boston family in 1931, he was the golden child, brilliant, ambitious, destined for greatness. Harvard professorship, Stanford PhD, a life mapped out with precision and promise, but beneath the polished exterior a profound emptiness gnawed. Have you ever felt that? That sense of achieving everything society tells you to achieve, yet feeling utterly disconnected from your true self? Richard was a master of external validation. He collected accolades like others collect souvenirs, yet with each achievement, the void inside him grew larger. He was searching for something beyond the intellectual landscape of academia, though he didn't yet know what. The 1960s cracked open his carefully constructed world. Partnering with Timothy Leary, Richard began exploring psychedelics, not as a recreational experiment, but as a genuine quest for understanding consciousness. These weren't just drugs, they were portals to unexplored dimensions of human experience. His first psilocybin experience was a seismic event. Imagine everything you thought you knew about reality suddenly dissolving, the rigid boundaries of self, of perception, melting away. He experienced what mystics call ego death, a complete dissolution of individual identity. But society wasn't ready. Harvard, that bastion of intellectual conformity, swiftly dismissed him. What seemed like a professional catastrophe was actually his first step toward liberation. India called to him like a whispered promise. In 1967, he traveled not as a tourist, but as a seeker. The chaotic streets of Mumbai, the overwhelming sensory landscape, everything was different. Everything was alive in a way he'd never experienced. And then he met Neem Karoli Baba. Maharaj Ji wasn't a conventional guru. He was pure presence, pure love. With a single glance, he saw through Richard's intellectual armor straight into his soul. The moment Maharaj Ji renamed him Ram Dass, servant of God, was more than a name change. It was a rebirth. Can you feel the weight of that transformation? The shedding of an old identity, the emergence of something authentic. Returning to America, Ram Dass was no longer the Richard Alpert his colleagues knew. He carried a radical message. Spirituality isn't about intellectual understanding. It's about presence, about love. His book, Be Here Now, wasn't just a book. It was a revolution packaged between two covers. Written in a style that was part memoir, part mystical instruction manual, it spoke to a generation hungry for meaning beyond material success. But transformation is never linear. Ram Dass wasn't a perfect guru on a pedestal. He struggled with his sexuality, with integrating Eastern wisdom into Western culture, with his own human imperfections. 1997 brought a profound test. A stroke, sudden, devastating, stripped away his physical capabilities. For a man who had built his identity on intellectual and physical prowess, this could have been a death sentence. Imagine facing a challenge that would crush most people's spirits and choosing to see it as a gift. Not as a punishment, but as an opportunity for deeper understanding. This is where his true teaching began. Would you like to hear how he transformed this seemingly devastating moment into his most powerful lesson? If you're enjoying The Big Idea, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, Mental Models Mastery. Learn to make better decisions and think like Einstein, Da Vinci, and Socrates. Now back to the episode. Would you like to hear how he transformed this seemingly devastating moment into his most powerful lesson? The stroke didn't break Ram Dass, it broke him open. Suddenly confined to a wheelchair, unable to move as he once did, he discovered a profound truth. Our greatest limitations can become our most powerful teachers. His body was failing, but his spirit was more alive than ever. Through the Living Dying project, he revolutionized how we approach mortality. Hospice care became more than medical treatment, it became a sacred journey of human connection. He taught healthcare workers and patients alike that dying isn't something to fear, but a profound transition to be experienced with love and presence. Those words weren't just a philosophy, they were a lived experience. Most people run from vulnerability. Ram Dass embraced it as his greatest strength. He spoke openly about his stroke, his sexuality, his failures. In a world that worships perfection, he celebrated human messiness. Imagine a spiritual teacher who doesn't pretend to be above human struggle, but who walks right through the center of it, who shows you that your wounds aren't something to hide, but portals to deeper understanding. His teachings weren't about transcending humanity, they were about fully experiencing it. Here's the challenge Ram Dass leaves you. Your suffering is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. Every challenge you face, every moment of pain, confusion, loss, carries within it the seed of transformation. But you must be willing to look, to stay present, to love exactly what is without trying to change it. This isn't about passive acceptance, it's about active, radical love. In his final years, Ram Dass returned to Hawaii. No longer the Harvard professor, no longer the counterculture guru, just a man simply being. On his lanai overlooking the ocean, he embodied his most profound teaching: presence is everything, not achievement, not status, just pure, unconditional awareness. And in those words was a universe of meaning. When Ram Dass died in 2019, he didn't leave behind a doctrine. He left a way of being, an invitation to love more deeply, to see beyond the surface of things. His life wasn't about becoming something. It was about undoing everything that prevented him from experiencing pure connection. So here's your challenge. Where in your life are you resisting what is? Where are you fighting against your own experience instead of loving it exactly as it appears? Ram Dass showed us that true transformation happens not through struggle, but through radical acceptance. Through seeing the divine in every moment, even especially the difficult ones. We are all indeed just walking each other home. Are you ready to begin your journey? On the next episode of The Big Idea, Ram Dass showed us how vulnerability and presence can unlock profound spiritual understanding. But what happens when life throws you into the chaotic arena of the modern world? Imagine facing personal demons, battling addiction, and navigating the complexities of fame, all while trying to offer guidance to millions. This week, we explore a figure who, like Ram Dass, grapples with integrating inner wisdom with the external world, but through a distinctly different lens. Get ready to discover the power of personal responsibility, the necessity of embracing chaos, and the surprising places where meaning can be found. What if, in facing your own suffering, you could find a path to inspire the world? Stay tuned, you won't want to miss this. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code, or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, Mental Models Mastery. 7 mental models used by humanity's greatest minds. Think clearer, decide faster, and spot opportunities everyone misses. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/bi. Thanks for watching.